Alrighty, so my name is Cheyenne Schultz, and this is my screencast and prezi about classroom community. And I have a little bit of a cold today, so sorry if my voice sounds funny. Um, Overall, I believe that any classroom needs to have a safe environment. No matter what, we need to keep our students safe. We need to have clear expectations for all students, making sure that we're laying out exactly what we expect. We need to establish a routine, and this usually happens early on in the school year, but I believe that it's essential to keep it throughout the school year and keep our routine intact so that students know what's going to happen. I believe that we need to use language that is clear. This can kind of be a follow-up from the routine. We want to make sure students know exactly what we're saying and there's no questions about it. This whole environment shouldn't be stagnant. We want it to change with the students. As their needs change and grow, the environment should change and grow, and the community will shift with that, providing a growing atmosphere. So I broke it up into the four main domains as well. And first off, I have physical. And I kind of thought of this in a couple different ways. I wasn't sure how we were supposed to talk about it. But first, how the room looks. I always like a room that looks warm when you come in, having plenty of light. You don't really want fluorescent light bulbs in your room. Having the supplies all readily available, but not overwhelming. That's kind of a hard task, but I think my CT does it really well. The children know that on one shelf there's all of their markers and crayons and etc., but they're all in designated locations, but they're there when the kids need them. I always wanted to teach in earlier childhood classrooms, so I think about having a large meeting area space for rug time, calendar time, all those things. And also having a clear view of the front of the room. As a student myself, I know that I hate it when I'm sitting somewhere and I can't fully see what's happening up front. So we want to provide that for our students. The paint on the walls, this can kind of be a difficult situation because we usually can't paint our rooms, but I think that we can use children's artwork and projects to decorate and make the environment comfortable and happy. Next part, physical, how it's going to support physical development, the room itself. My CT has this great thing called brain breaks, and right after math class we take a little break and go ahead and do an activity. So she has the thing called brain breaks, and as the children have this program and they have a little monster, and as they complete activities their monster grows, and so it really fosters a whole bunch of teamwork and effort, and they're also getting up and moving around every day, which is a perfect break. Also having that desk space that's going to provide a personal space for each child. It's really nice to know where your things are and know that you have a location where you can place your stuff, even if it's just a little cubby or a desk space. Having a designated safe location, sometimes, especially in the younger grades, kids just need a spot to go sit down and cool down a little bit. It's always nice to have a clear area for that. And then also clear areas for students to transition from activities. I think this can be really important, especially in the younger grades, but also in the older. Children being able to work together to move from one thing to another is going to be essential. Okay, so intellectually, having materials from the previous years, this kind of sounds funny, but I read it in one of the articles and I thought it was great. Especially in those early on years, you want kids to be able to succeed, and having some same kind of manipulatives that they've maybe used before can definitely help with that. It's going to help with the familiarization. Providing direct instruction where it's needed. You want to definitely give the kids the help they need to get where we want them to go, and interspersing group and individual work. I think my CT does a really great job of this. She'll start out with individual work, then we kind of jump into teamwork, and then a whole class activity. So you're really fostering that we can do it method, not just I can do it. Learning is more important than our grades. I know personally this can be a hard one for me, but my growth is more important than the grade that can be attached to it. So really teaching children that we need to figure out how to get there, not just the end result. Incorporating the many learning modalities consistently. I know I can kind of fall into, oh, I checked this one off, don't have to do that again for a while, but we need to consistently be hitting all of those. Emotionally, we want to kind of give back to the same space for children to have their belongings. I know that it can be very helpful for a child who just needs to be able to set their stuff down to have a good spot for that. Providing opportunities for everyone to succeed. A great way that I've seen this is that one of my teachers will go over to the student and say, hey, in 5 minutes you're going to be presenting your work. So the child has a heads up and then can go present, and it really fosters an encouraging atmosphere. The kids all think that they're doing great, and they encourage others to get up and share. Creating an environment where mistakes are learned from. I think sometimes I get stuck on, oh, it's okay to make mistakes, but well, not just that. We have to learn from those mistakes and be growing from them. So teaching children that, okay, we've made this mistake, now what can we do? And having an environment where they all know that's okay. And then being an encourager. In some of my previous classes, we discussed encouragement versus praise. I think that encouraging is focusing on what the child has done, and praise can be more on what did it make me feel like. So just making sure that everyone feels encouraged and excited to learn. And this kind of leads into the social aspect of things. When I talked to my CT about this, community-wise, the best thing to do is learn each other's names and something special about that student. So as a group, they start off by building their community by just learning each other and knowing who they are. Involving families, bringing in pictures, talking to people, just including them in any way possible or however they would like to be. So all of this, we want to be building a team, and I think all these things kind of intersperse and weave together. The group work is going to encourage it. And then rotating their groups so that children are going to have opportunities to work with many different people. We're not just going to have little teams. We want a whole classroom that wants to work with each other and build each other up. And then I have my sources, and we kind of read all of these different articles and talked about them. But I think overall, this is going to build a whole classroom community where everyone's safe and ready to learn and excited about life. So there we go.